Yeah, they make a white Russian. It tastes like
No. The Peninsula Velo 50th anniversary. We've been around for 50 years. Yeah, can you believe it? I would like to introduce the founder of the club, which most of you already know, but did you realize, I mean, he still rides with us, as you know, for the most part. And, you know, I think it's, you know, the longevity of the club is really a testament to his desire and will to keep Penn Velo, you know, going and active. So without further ado, Bill Fallis.
There was no founder. It was organic between Tom Simpson and a few other people, but we started out in the winter of 74, 75 with 8 riders.
Bruce first came into contact with Peninsula Velo back in June of 1979 when he got into a breakaway at the Berkeley Twilights with Fred Fisk. Over the years, Bruce has enjoyed showing his rear wheel, among other things, to many Penn Velo riders, including Mark Kahn and Sheen Yamita. Sheen's here, and so is Mark. As a race announcer, he has had the privilege of observing many Penn Velo racing riders distinguishing themselves in crits and cyclocross races, notching win after win by riding at the front and not wheel sucking like. He's also enjoyed shaming and calling out a bunch of riders, myself included. So thank you very much for the encouragement, Bruce. Bruce is honored to be part of the festivities, 50 years with another 50 years to come. So here we go, Bruce.
Thank you, Penn Velo. So they asked me to put together some history to kind of track 50 years of Penn Velo and 50 years of bicycle racing. So this is kind of a 50 years of the last 50 years of bicycle racing with 50 years of Penn Velo. So of course we all know that Ray Stafford, Steve Aldrich, and Bill Fallis were kind of the nucleus of Penn Velo back in 1974. Ray was the manager of Talbot's. Steve was a British rider who'd come over and was the mechanic. And so Talbot Cycling was one of the first sponsors. They were looking to sponsor a bike racing team. 1975, the ABLA, anybody raced under the ABLA? ABLA became the USCF. 1975, our own Clark Natwick won his first national championship. He went on to win 5 national championships plus 4 silvers and 1 bronze. He represented the U.S. at 10 world championships. And even though he didn't win any of those races in a Penn Velo jersey, thank you, Clark, we still love him. And yes, we still love him and all the things he's done for the Penn Velo team over the years as a coach, advisor, and really getting a lot of riders their first taste in the cycling. He is one of only 2 lifetime members of the Penn Velo racing team. Can anybody remember, anybody know who the other lifetime member is? There you go, Murray Swanson, all the way, our Scotsman. There you go. So I think he's back in Scotland, isn't he? Yeah, there he is. Okay. Okay, there are a few more? Okay. Or name, okay, well, they're not on the website. You got to update that website, Yvonne. 1976, Bill Robertson and Tom Hardy. Tom, why don't you guys raise your hands? These guys went off to the Olympic trials to try to make the Olympic team. Another NorCal rider did make the Olympic team. What was his name? George Mount, and he went on to get 6th in the Olympics. But Penn Velo already 2 years into their club, they're off trying to make the Olympic team. 1977, Penn Velo was featured on a segment of KPIX's Evening Magazine on TV. They got some really good press. The footage included the Presidio criterium. Was anybody on that team? Was anybody in that footage? How did you let 17-year-old Greg LeMond lap you guys twice?
It was easy.
Unstoppable. 17-year-old Greg LeMond. Penn Velo still look good. You guys still look good, but it was interesting. So Penn Velo, 3 years into existence, is getting TV time, which is pretty incredible. 1978, 20-year-old Eric Allen breaks the national 25-mile individual time trial record with a 54:03. Well, Barb as well. He was a Masters time trial champion and senior time trial champion as well, and world time trial. Yes, world time trial champion. So 1978, Tom Simpson takes over the helm of the club. Where is Tom? Tom, raise your hand, Tom. 1978, he becomes the leader of Penn Velo Racing. 1979, Mark Kahn, we're going to hear about this later from Tom. He starts attempting to set his SF to LA bike record. He does it twice. Fred Fisk accompanies him twice. That's not good. But anyways, let's go into the 80s. So the 1980s, things got a little interesting in the international term. First American team invited to the Tour de France in 1981. If you know Lindsey Crawford, he was invited to the Tour de France, and about 8 other Americans were set to ride the first American team to ride the Tour de France, and that invitation got rescinded at the last minute. But 1981, we had a NorCal rider potentially riding the Tour de France, but a NorCal rider did ride the Tour de France, Bill Robertson. Who was that in 1981? First American. Jacques Boyer, yes, who was a NorCal rider, spent a lot of time here. 1982, this is a landmark year for Penn Velo because Bill Follis takes on German porn star Manfred Knepp. Now this guy was, he was the consummate pro. He had his own trading cards. He had his entourage. He dressed like he was going to the Oscars, and he was Mr. Style. So Bill and Fred and Leonard Zippy K went out to the Wisconsin Milk Race and decided we're going to set the record straight on this guy. And this became a great rivalry. They rented a motorhome and they were motor pacing behind the motorhome to get their speed up. And the only thing I remember is the first race in Madison, the whole lead-out train crashed. And they're hanging out on my couch in Madison, oozing all over my couch. Luckily, it was one of those loaner college couches that went from, you know, student to student. But they did a great job, and he took on, it was a rivalry for the ages. So took on the German porn star Manfred Knepp. He just exuded this, like, I'm cool on a bike. And you guys had to take him down, right, Bill? And they did. So congratulations. 1984, the Americans attempted to win a bunch of medals at the LA Olympics by doing blood doping. Americans, right? So where do you think Lance got his start? The American Olympic team. And they were so smart, they decided, we're not going to take blood out of you and then give it back. We're going to get blood from your brother and sister and mother and father, and then we're going to give it to you. And these guys were coming out of the hotel rooms after these transfusions and passing out because the blood was not compatible. Just because you're a brother or a sister doesn't mean you get somebody else's blood. But dark period of American cycling. 1986, first American team at the Tour de France. And then there was some knucklehead from Nevada that went on and won the Tour de France that year, Greg LeMond. That was a great year. 1987, Penn Velo becomes the organizer of the Burlingame Criterium. Now, the Criterium was started in 1976, but it was kind of on, off. But Penn Velo took it over in 1987, and they ran it till 2017. 30-plus years of the Penn Velo Criterium. Congratulations, Penn Velo. 1995, we're going to go into the 1990s now. The USCF celebrates 20 years running bike racing in America. 1999, landmark year, Lance Armstrong wins the Tour de France. Millions of Americans are captivated by his story, but he leaves out a few pertinent details. 2002, our own Tom Simpson and Alex Simpson, they found Pilarcito Cycle Sports. And they bring us the Bay Area Super Prestige Cyclocross. Who rode the Bay Area Super Prestige Cyclocross Series? Raise your hand if you rode the Bay Area Super Prestige Cyclocross Series. That was a great series. You know, Tom's a real showman, and he and Alec tried to bring European-level cyclocross racing to the Bay Area. We were so honored to have and so lucky to have those guys who would go over to Europe, figure out how it's done over in Belgium and the Netherlands, and then bring the racing here. And so we had great courses up at, you know, Golden Gate Park. We actually had the Clark Natwick, you know, not a memorial, but the Clark Natwick whatever cyclocross race, because he's still around, alive and kicking. But again, so they also did, anybody do the Ronde van Brisbane? How many people rode the Ronde van Brisbane Criterium?
And stayed upright.
Yeah. You know, here are some of the things. When they used to do the cyclocross night race there up at wherever that was, it was Sierra Point. Here's the stuff the promoter has to go through. That kicked up a lot of dust. Well, the dust deposited itself on the people that have yachts at the yacht harbor. So Tom has to go and appease the people that own the yacht harbor and let them know that they'll do something about this dust that's floating around after the race. So that's the kind of stuff a promoter has to deal with. Not prize money and, you know, PA systems and fencing. He's got to go make sure the people that own those luxury yachts at Sierra Point aren't upset that there's dust covering their boats. 2004, we just talked, where is John and Michelle Pois? We just talked about the Ryan's Ride. The first Ryan's Ride was 2004, and Bill did a great job of talking about what an incredible fundraising effort it was, over $1 million. What's Matthew doing these days, John? He's what? Oh, really? He's living in New York. So Ryan's twin brother Matthew is about 23, right? He's living in New York City now. Congratulations. All right. So 2010, the Bill Follis Award was created, and it was to recognize key contributors to the spirit and success of Penn Velo. 2014, Jeremy Cattell wins the first world championship for Penn Velo. Well, Barb was in there in a time trial, but Jeremy was on the track. 2015, USCS celebrates running bike racing in America for 40 years. No clue present or visible despite looking everywhere. I don't know how you guys survived 50 years under the tutelage of the United States Cycling Federation. I was at a meeting in 1977 where they were deciding how to get more juniors into bike racing, and they decided it wasn't because of race promotion, it cost too much for sew-up tires. So we're going to stipulate that all the juniors have to ride on clinchers. Well, it was harder to find 24-inch clinchers than it was to find 24-inch sew-ups. So it was actually more expensive. But the USF, that was how they were going to promote junior racing, by making the juniors ride on clincher tires. So 2019 was a banner year for Penn Velo. I saw him around here earlier. Bill Brisman, he won 2 World Track Championships. He won one in the scratch race and one in the team pursuit. And he credited his 2 World Championships to his success in winning the Little 500 3 times when he was at Indiana University. Go Delta Chi's. Thank you very much for reserving the park and making it happen. And again, the last but not least, let's thank all the friends, family, and fans who made Penn Velo what it is, and sponsors over 50 years. George, throw that spatula up here, our longest running sponsor, George Skates. If you have any plumbing needs, he's your man.
And barbecue.
Oh, the barbecue. There you go. Where's Mark Powers? Mark Powers. There you go, our roofing specialist. It's been raining lately in Northern California, a lot. So thank you, Mark, for providing that service. And it's Chuck's, where's Pateri's? Where's Chuck? Chuck, there you go. Yep, you got to take it. Those cars all have all these weird electronics now, right? Okay, there you go.